Are you thinking about doing a series of artwork? Stay tuned because I will tell you the benefits that I have found to doing series work, as well as some tips to get you started.
Hi, Shanna Rowe Jackson here from Caution Our Set Play, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about doing a series of artwork. First, I want to say that I apologize for this time-lapse footage. This is the footage that I took for the video I was going to do last week, and I had a lot of technical difficulties, so there will be some pieces missing, and it will kind of, look like some of the painting happened by magic. And it actually cut off the complete end of the painting process, so it doesn't show how I finished up the painting, which is very, very frustrating. But I decided to use this footage for this video because this painting is going to be part of a series, and I thought it would be good to have in the background while I talk about series artwork. So a little bit about this painting. I am working on a project for my painting class, and the assignment is to do a map or mapping as artwork, and I decided it would be fun to map out the fictional town, the Dale, from my Life in the Dale series. So this is going to be kind of like a sub-series from my Life in the Dale series. And this is only going to be 4 canvases, so it's not going to be the whole map, but this is the first canvas that I'm working on out of 4. It's not going to be the whole map, but I think I might expand on it a little bit outside of class down the line. And I really it makes me want to start doing my Life in the Dale series again. I haven't done any paintings from that series in a couple years, and it is my longest going series with over 30 paintings in it. So this has actually sparked all kinds of fun ideas for that. But this is just a way to get to know that town a little bit more. So if you're somebody who has followed me for a few years, you probably know about my Life in the Dale series. I haven't done it as much lately because it's surrealistic, and I've been more into realism lately, but it definitely makes me want to get back to my whimsical side of things. So that's what I'm working on here. So with that long intro out of the way, let's get to talking about the benefits of doing a series of artwork. So I probably did my first series when I was like 9, and 9 times out of 10 when I do a series of artwork, it's because I do one painting and I really like it, and then I decide I want to expand on it more. So that's usually how I end up doing a series of artwork, but there are times when I plan it out ahead of time. And the benefits that I have found to doing a series of artwork, the one benefit that I have found to be really strong for me is the fact that you can get a body of work really easily that way. I am somebody who, as you know, I like to go back and forth between surrealism and realism, and I work in a lot of different mediums. So I have an illustrative side, I have a realism side, I have a surrealism side of me, and it can be really hard to have a body of work if you're just doing one painting here or there from each style. So it's really helpful to have a series of artwork in whatever style that you are working in at the time, because it gives you a body of work. So if down the line, for some reason, there is a call for surrealistic art at a gallery and you want to enter, you will have more than one painting to show for it. And it makes it easier to get into galleries when you have bodies of work. So if you're somebody who likes to work in multiple styles, I recommend doing series works in each of those styles. I'm sorry, my head keeps blocking things. So I think that that's really beneficial, because when you do want to get into a gallery, the gallery wants to know that you can give them more of what you gave them if it does sell. So if you work in multiple styles, it is beneficial to build a body of work in each of those styles, and a series is a great and easy way to do that, especially if you have a large series. Like I said, my Life in the Dale series is like 30 paintings strong right now, and I'm probably going to be adding to it. And you can pick up on a series again at any time. I've taken a break from Life in the Dale because I have been working Life in the Dale paintings. They're all kind of large. They're 18 by 24 canvases. And I didn't have my studio set up, and I was working in my living room, so I didn't have the room to paint on 18 by 24 canvases. Plus, I started exploring colored pencils, so then I really wanted to work in realism more, and I was working smaller, and on paper it was just much easier for me to do in my living room. Now that I have my studio set up, I am going to be working on it more, but you can pick back up on it at any time. Another benefit is the collectability factor. If you have collectors, they may want more than one of your works, or if, you know, they have friends and they've seen theirs, they may want something just like it. And having a series is a great way to do that. There are times when somebody may want the whole series. And when I'm talking about a series, I am speaking like, to me, a series is 3 or more paintings. So the series doesn't have to be very large. I prefer to do more than 3 paintings. But to me, I mean, I've done a few small paintings that, a few small series that are just like 3 canvases. But for the most part, I think I like to have mine be longer than that. You can also do sequential art, and that will help you with a series. So if you're somebody who's into comics or into graphic storytelling, it's a great way to make a series too. Even if you're not actually doing a comic, sequential art is really just one painting really leads to the next. Like, you can have somebody walking down the road and the next painting they're on the different part of the road kind of thing. There's many ways to do it. It's also, doing a series is also a great way to stay inspired because you have a clear-cut idea, you have goals. Even if your idea isn't clear-cut, I guess I shouldn't say you have a clear-cut idea. You have at least some idea. Usually if you're working on a series, you have some type of theme. And if you are having a hard time getting inspired, you can look at the other paintings from that series and draw inspiration from those and see what the next step would be. And I also think it's a great way to stay disciplined. It kind of keeps you on your toes and gives you some problem-solving skills because you want to try and figure out how this next painting from this series is going to, you know, fit into the series really well, but also be able to stand on its own. And that's usually a challenge, but it's a great challenge, and it's just a great way to expand your skills. And so a couple ways to get started. I am a firm believer that you should paint what you love or paint what you know. And when I say paint what you know, that does not mean you can't paint imaginary things. I just mean paint the things that speak to who you are in some way. Like, a lot of my landscapes are going to be elements of, there's going to be a lot of Maine elements in them, for instance, because I live in Maine, I've grown up in Maine. The furthest away I've ever been is Pennsylvania. So I pretty much paint what I know. When I was younger, I would paint a lot of tropical things, and I do find tropical things to be fun, but I don't really have any real experience with it. And I find that because I paint the landscapes that I know, that my work seems to be better that way. And it also expresses who I am a lot better. I feel that every painting that you do, every painting I do, I like to have a piece of myself in. So even if I do imaginary paintings, usually they are things that I really love. I don't usually paint things because somebody else asks me to. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to paint a dragon because obviously if somebody commissions me to do a dragon, I might try to do it. But for the most part, you know, I know people like dragons, but I'm not going to paint dragons just because other people like them, because that's not my favorite mythical creature. A unicorn, maybe. Dragons, no, because I would just be doing it because somebody else likes them, and I'm not going to do it just to sell stuff. I just find that it works better if you paint what you love. So when you're doing a series of work, it's no different. Write down what your favorite animals are, for instance. Say you really love chickadees. You could do a series of chickadees. You could have them chickadees are great because you can see them in the winter, you can see them in the summer, you can see them in the spring. So you could do a series of paintings of chickadees from all different seasons, for instance. So just write down things that your favorite things, your favorite animals, your favorite scenes around town, things like that, and figure out ways that you can incorporate them into a series. I think that, if you pick a subject and paint it different ways, it's a really great way to do that. But subject matter isn't the only thing that can make a series. Another thing that can help you with a series is if you have a color scheme. I think a lot of artists have their own palette anyways. I'm drawn to sap green and like cyan blue, and like you can pretty much, the colors that you're seeing me put on this canvas right now are the colors that I tend to be really drawn to in almost all my artwork, because I really love landscape elements, and to me those are really good natural colors, and blue skies are one of my favorite things as well. So a lot of my artwork, even artwork, still life artwork, you may see some of these colors incorporated into them. So a lot of artists have their own palette, but if you're just starting out, figure out what colors you're drawn to, and just, look at your paints and, see what pops to you the most. Pick out 3 or 4 of them and start doing paintings out of those. Even if they're abstract, just start doing paintings out of those, and you can come up with a series that way. Another way that I like is to just pick like some type of theme, like fairy tales, for instance. You can do a fairy tale series, or I don't know, song lyrics. Be inspired by song lyrics. Pick 4 of your favorite songs, pick a couple lyrics out of each of those songs, and do artwork inspired by those lyrics. There's just so many different ways that you can do it. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to set out to do a series. There are plenty of times, really most of the time, the majority of the time that I have done series work has been because I've done a painting and I loved that painting, so I wanted to do more of it. And I think that that's a great way to do it. If you are somebody who's interested in doing a series, take your favorite painting and find out ways that you can do some like it. What are the elements you like about that painting? Is it the type of brush strokes? Is it the color scheme? Is it the subject? And just think about ways you can incorporate these to do more. The Life in the Dale series started because I did a Jack and the Beanstalk painting, and it was actually going to be a fairy tale series. And it was kind of part of a fairy tale series. I did a few other fairy tale themed things because I really love fairy tales. I always have. But it kind of stood out from the other paintings I was doing because I was kind of all over the place with the fairy tales. I just loved the way it looked, and I liked the aspect of having this giant thing in a landscape. So then I decided I wanted to paint more giant things, and I wanted a whimsical farm town based loosely on my hometown. And that's how the Life in the Dale series started. If you're a plein air painter, you could go out to the same place in your town and paint it different seasons. It doesn't matter what style of work you work in, you can do a series of artwork out of it. So I think it's just a great thing to try, and if you haven't tried it, I really recommend it, and I hope some of the things I've said here help, and that they are some, good tips for you. I'm sorry that it's kind of a little bit rambly. As you can see, I'm working in acrylic on this canvas. I have to apologize because the footage got cut off. It won't show the end of the painting, but I will post the painting at the end. But yeah, so what are some of the series works that you have done? If you have done series work, please comment below and let me know what your favorite theme is to do for a series, because I'm interested in finding out more about the people who have been watching my videos. So please feel free to comment and talk about what you think would make a good series, or a series that you're working on. All right, so thank you for listening. I hope that these tips help you, and here is my finished painting, and I will see you next time. Bye.
If you'd like to see more of my Life in the Dale series, check out the link in the description below.